Hello again, and welcome to another tutorial in the repair of cameras and lenses, and and this time I have got an old Canon FD 85mm 1.8 is the S.S.C version with the Breech Lock instead of the bayonet. I don't know what the S.S.C means, but maybe it's kind of the coding or something like that. But yeah. But let's jump into what we need. We need some tools to get into this old lens. We need at least, you can use one lens spreader, but I prefer to use two different. The one with the pin here, facing more inward, just like this, and the other is more outward to the edge of a lens. I will show it sooner, but it's good to have two different. Those are actually old compasses which you can buy on the internet as a new compass, and then file and grind them to different shapes or whatever in different cameras and lenses. This one is a lock. It's you can lock the legs here, which is really good because you can have a really good grip on it. The other is not locked, so but it's really tight up here, so it's really good. Now, some dentist tool is also very handy in different shapes. You can get them probably used at your dentist or buy them on the internet. This is a Danish brand called Zenit, just like the old Russian camera, without the H. So it's only said Zenit. But it's really good quality. Now, a tweezer is very handy, a pointy one, and I make myself another tweezer which is made from a curved tweezer, but I have simply filed the legs here, the pins, and it's really good to put the blades in or take them out of the lens. So if one needs that, I will show it. We also need a screwdriver, which will be a crosshead JIS screwdriver. I prefer the brand called Vera, and well, you can see it's a PH00, but I have filed the very pointy tip off with a needle file, so it will act the same way as the JIS, which is from Moody Tools. But you can get them on ifixit.com as a set of 4 of those. And we also need the amazing rubber tool from Japan Hobby Tool, which is absolutely amazing to work with when working with lenses. A lens blower is also very handy, and we will also need some chemical stuff. First we'll use the nail polish remover, and especially the one with acetone, and we will need some isopropylalcohol 99% or maybe 80 or something like that to clean the aperture assembly and the blades. A small barrel to put to add the isopropylalcohol into is also very good. And of course, cotton buds, we will need those. And a little good lens cloth or something like that to dry out the rest of the isopropylalcohol. Now, let's jump into it. We need to take off the nameplate here, and you can probably see there are 2 notches, one here and one there. I will not do it in that way. Well, it could be there is some thread lock. It could be in some lenses there are. But sometimes it's old and not really that sticky anymore. So I will try to get into take out the nameplate with the rubber tools, and sometimes it really works very good, and if not, I will just add a little tiny drop of nail polish remover. But well, I have been into the lens before, so I've just tightened the name ring too much, so I will just use a tiny amount of nail polish remover, and I will take a small cotton bud to actually add the nail polish remover, and it's good to let it suck all the way into the thread. And it will suck in and simply soften the thread lock, so you can actually unscrew the nameplate. And let's see. Yeah, it's free. Sometimes they sit really tight, so it can be a little tricky to actually get out here. So let's see how it can go. And the thread is really fine, but now here it is. And there's not really much thread here, as you probably can see. So it was easy to take out. And there could be some, maybe you can see it. There are some here. This is old kind of thread lock, I guess. So, and now it's time to take off the actually there is a retaining ring here that holds the lens, the front lens group into place. So we need a tool for that. So we'll just take this, the more pointy lens spinner, compass, whatever tool it calls. You can also buy real lens spinner on the internet. There are many different. I haven't tried because I just use this one and I like it. Now what we see here is a lot of thread lock here on this retaining ring. So we will probably need some nail polish remover to add here on the thread to loosen it. And I would guess we need a little more than just a tiny drop. So simply add it here. Let it suck in. And so it will soften it very easy, and then it should be possible to actually unscrew this retaining ring, have a really good grip, and then press on it on the compass and move it. Wow. It sits tight even if I have been into the lens before. So this retaining ring has a really long, you have to turn it many times to get it off the thread. and then we are almost there. Now it's free, and then the retaining ring can be taken out like this. So, and then we do not actually need any more of the rubber tools here. It will be for the nameplate. Now, that is also the front lens group we need to unscrew. And for that I will use a different shaped lens tool. The legs are more to be used when the notch here there, and the other one over here is more to the edge in the tube, so it will be easy to unscrew, hopefully. And probably we also need to add a little nail polish remover, so we will just do so. I actually thought before I made this, I thought the front lens would just pop out when the retaining ring was out, but no. So we'll just add a little. That should be enough. And then have a really good grip to not scratch the lens element. And then so, oh, of course, the thread. So I see it has a really long thread before it comes out. Take good care of the lens spinner, so it will not fool around. It's not really a problem because I have a good grip on the lens tool. So now we are almost there, and then I could use my rubber tool here to actually get the rest of the. You can actually hear on the way it screws. It says click there. Yeah, and now it's free. And flip it over and then take it out. So this is the full front lens group. So it is. Then put it aside, and then we looked actually into the aperture assembly, which is the one in here. You see the little spring here, which will draw in the aperture ring under here and then move the blades. So if I can push on this one here, we can see we can actually see all the oil on the blades, and it sticks really good. You can probably see it. I think it's more easy to see it from the back of the lens. So now we continue with to actually unscrew the mount. So off with the cap, and then some important thing that will make it a lot easier. Set the aperture ring to 16, just like here. Oh, we could maybe set it to lock the, set it on A. But I just thought it was easier to set it on 16, but I would guess it is. So I will set it to 16. Then push this arm all the way over, so it says click. Now you can see I can push it back in, but set it over there so it will stay there. There is a kind of a lock spring in here that will prevent the arm from going back again. And now we actually maybe you can see the aperture system here can move, but not yet because I need to unlock the lock ring here. So if I push down here, the ring will move a little. So it should maybe be more active or so. I don't know. And now we set the pin here all the way over till it says click. And then we need to take out 3 screws. This one here, this one there, and there's one behind here. So if I close, lock the lock ring, one says, then one screw is exposed and is actually near to the index mark. So I can just unscrew this here, and then I will sooner come to the other 2 screws, because if I click this one here, I will unlock the ring and it will move, so just like it sits on the camera. And so I have the other 2 screws exposed, and then I can unscrew those. That's not a big problem. Okay, it's good with a magnetized screwdriver. So it is. And then it's possible to actually take off the mount here. And because I put this pin all the way up to lock position, it will be much easier to take off. So one can, when it sits here, simply move off the mount, and you can probably see there is a kind of a fork in here. So this pin here goes into the fork here. The other pin, which is pushed by this one, right now it's onto the lock position here. So when I push it, it will go all the way back. And then it will also push on this pin here. So when this arm here, is in lock position, the aperture will close. So I will set it back to locked position, and then let it stay there. So we do not need to use this one here right now, because the next step will actually be to go into the aperture assembly from the front. So we will do so. And take care of the aperture ring, and not have the steel ball and the spring in here, somewhere in here, come out. So now it should be possible without any problems, as I see it, to actually take out the well, it could be that it is possible to take out the whole inner tube, but it doesn't seem that it is possible. So I will just, because the aperture assembly is quite easy, put in here. There are 3 screws around, one there, there, and there. And of course the spring that we need to unhook. And then it's possible to take out the whole aperture assembly out. And there will be no problem with that. Hold on. So before take out the aperture assembly in here, it's very important for the oh, that was some Danish. Well, before take out this this assembly here, we need to simply set a small mark in here, because the holes, I mean the screw holes here for the 3 screws that hold the aperture assembly, is much bigger. So it is possible that when you put the aperture assembly in, it could sit wrong. And then in that way, it will be a wrong value when you set the aperture ring to something 16, 5.6 or whatever. So this is why it is so important to set a mark here. It could be somewhere in this tube, but just on the plate here and on the inside of the tube here, because then it will be much easier to actually put back into the lens. So you will do so. The spring is a little, or can be a little tricky, so we'll see how it will go. No, it was actually okay. I will just do it again. Oh gosh, tiny little spring. It was simply just because the camera was not correct here. So I will just show it again. And you can see it can be a little tricky to put in the spring. That's not easy. So sometimes it's not, I mean, I will show it when I assembled the whole thing again. So that's fine. Now, since I set a mark, I can simply unscrew those 3 screws that sits around, and without any problems. They have used some kind of, not thread lock, but kind of a glue or something like that. I will also use that when I assemble the thing again. You could actually use black nail polish or maybe contact glue. It looks like it is that kind of stuff. The acetone has just to evaporate before you put the lens element in. So, and now I would think it's possible without any problems to take out the aperture assembly, and for that I will use a little bigger tweezer to have a better grip. So let's see if it's possible. So, wow, there's really a lot of oil in here. You can have the full house heated up with that. So, wow, that was a lot. You can see here, there's a lot of it is shining with all that bloody oil. That actually comes from the focusing system. It's the only place it can come from. Now be aware of this plastic thingy here that actually have a cam on the other side, which will be here. This cam here will push on the plastic here. So yeah, let's see what we can do about it. We'll need a lot of isopropylalcohol and maybe some napkins, which I do not really have here, but I will take the aperture assembly first. So here we have it, really sticky, and you can see the blades are really wow, there's a lot. So the only way we can come into it, there are 3 screws around here, there, and there. And we also need to unscrew those and take off the plate. The blades are attached to the ring that is facing towards the front of the lens. And the other ring, which is the ring that moves the blades, are in between the two, the front here and the back here. So it should be quite easy to actually disassemble and also assemble again. And the holes are really good. They are countersunk screws, so it will fit very good. Hopefully the barrel will be big enough for the lens assembly. I would guess no, it's not really. I have a big one. So, and now we will see, where's my tweezer here? So if I take off the plate that holds it and then flip it over, there is even more oil. Wow, that's amazing. So yeah, that will be a lot. And then we just have to see how the blades is sitting. I mean, it can only sit in one position when you put them in, but just so you can see how it sits like that. So that's it, and then I will just need a bigger barrel. So hold on a second. So now I get a bigger barrel. I mean, compared to this tiny one, this is much better. Nothing special about that. So I will just add a little, fill up isopropylalcohol, and then put the parts in here and let them stay for a little. The blades and the ring here all will come in. And oh, come on. And it's not necessary to be there very long time. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's not hours we are talking about. It's just a few minutes. And then this plate will come in to another shower. And the last ring here will also need to come in. And when it sits there, we can just clean the inside here of the lens, which actually contains a lot of oil. and using a cotton bud, we will wipe away the most of it, and then take new one and do the exact same, so it will be completely oil free. There's really a lot. One can also bend the cotton buds here and get it more. It will be easier to come in, and there's really a lot. You probably can see there's really a lot of dirt in there. And where's another one? Just do so, and then add it in here. And we will then add a lot of isopropyl here, and then use another one to actually wipe away the rest of it, maybe even more. But you can see the isopropylalcohol will make it easy to actually get rid of the oil which is in here. And I mean, it's not so much in here the oil has a problem or is a problem. It's more in the aperture assembly itself. So, and we'll just do another go. So it's fine, it will just evaporate away, and then we fine with that. It's not the same way the the 50mm 1.4 is built, so it's because then you can take the whole part off. It's not possible here. Well, it is maybe if as I can see, there is probably a screw behind the rubber ring here. As I can see it now better, there's a screw here that actually hold the inner tube in place. So it could be that it is possible to take off the rubber here, but to me it's not really a problem. So I'm fine with that. So the next thing is to simply assemble the aperture assembly, which is right now having a shower. And oh. So, and I think it will be really good to actually do this here. So so it will be fine, this one here. So now it's fine, clean and free from oil, ready to put in. And then the next part. Whoa. So there, and it looks really fine without any oil. And then the the inner ring. I don't know what it calls. It has probably a name, the moving ring. Could be. I do not have a repair manual for this lens, so this is just straight out of Just Do It. And it's clean of oil, as you can see. There's nothing left, so that's quite good. And now the blades, which will, I will guess, also be very fine. Yeah, let's see how it will go. So I have a funny shape compared to other aperture blades, and they are, I guess it's made of metal. I will think so. Oh. And it's really good. Let's see if they are made of metal. Yes, the blades are made of metal. It sticks to my screwdriver, so there's no problem with that. Just to catch them out of this barrel or bowl. So there, and it looks fine. Oh gosh, so there. And take very good care of not bending the blades, or with the end of the blades here. It will be really difficult to put the blades in when they are not straight. So there. And all the blades are in the same shape, so there's no, it can sit where they can. Oh, come on, little blade. Difficult to catch. So there. There's really a lot of dirt on those blades. I can see at my microfiber cloth here. So it will be really good when it's done. Okay, we take both of them. Wow, it looks fine. Okay. And we are out of use for that. And the blades are actually done. So now we see them here. Just like new. So there. And here we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blades. Well, that's something different compared to other, where there are actually more blades. So this ring can only sit in one position. It will say here, because we have the little pin here for the spring, and the other end is here for the other end of the spring. So it can only sit in this position. So we put in the blades here and try to fix it somewhere. Let's see, something like that, I would guess. Okay, so there. Sure. So this is the way it works. Hopefully we can move it a little. Yeah. So that's fine. And then we can just continue actually clockwise, because the last blade will be put in under the other. So there. Okay, it cannot go. Yeah, so it is. So this is fine. Then take good care of not moving the aperture ring here that holds the blades. So there, should go there. Looks like there's something here. There's nothing. It's not grease. So I think it will be fine. So. And then. So we are almost there. It's not that hard. Just need a big bag of patience. So there. Now we are almost there. And you see, there is a problem, because I need to attach this the holes here, but there's a blade that covers it, so I need to move the ring a little. And then I can add the next last blade, hopefully. So there. Now, the last blade can sometimes be really tricky to put in, so I need to close the aperture a bit more to actually have this area over here free. And then I can actually put in this blade here under the first one. Whoa. I move this so. So we actually have to, I need to have a stand where it can stay on when actually assemble it. So it's a good thing to have some of those cones where the assembly can sit on. And a cotton bud could be a good thing to use. Just have a closer look, see what's going on. And now I need to open it a little and then get get one of the first blade over, lift it up a little, so, and then close the aperture. Tricky. Close it even more, and then add the last blade. Hopefully it can be, because everything is so light. So there. And of course, let's see, I need to lift up the hole first here, and then if it's possible to push in the blade into the hole, it should sit. It's not easy. Where is that hole? So there. And then I need to move this. Okay. And there it is, haha, right here. So now we can see it. It's a pretty interesting construction. So it works. Yeah, it's live. So then I need to put on the plate that actually hold the plates and plate. And it would sit like that here. Or should it sit like that? I forgot to set a mark on this one. But I would guess this one should sit here. So let's see if it will work. Hopefully. And then if I press, yeah, it's correct. You see, this pin here is actually the one that this, oh, need to zoom out a little. This plastic pin in here that is controlled by the cam on the back. So it sits correct. And it will actually move the plates here. And the pin will close it. And this pin over here also sit correct. So it's actually fine. So I need to put in the screws, the 3 screws that hold the ring. And then we are done. Oh, Gosh. So that's fine. It is possible. Of course it is. They have done it in the factory. So why shouldn't we do the same? So now it's done, and just gently tighten the screws. They will not fall out. So, and then here we are with a fully working aperture. So that's really good. The only thing I need is to put this bloody spring on. And now, of course, it's much easier. I mean, it should be a lot easier to add, actually. Let's see what end is better than the other. I think it doesn't really matter. So we can just see if it... So, there. I thought there was a hole, but there isn't any. It's just a pin. So now it's much easier to actually put the other end over. So, and here we are. Yeah, that's fine. So time to put it back into the lens. And here we are. There could maybe be some issue with the plastic pin there, but I don't think there should be any problem. As I see it, one need to put this pin all the way over to the right when look into the lens. Maybe it's better when it's this. No, it has to sit on to 16, aperture 16, and then this pin here will come all the way over here. So next thing is that I need to actually, let's see here, put this pin down and be sure this oh, come on, autofocus. This gap here will get the plastic pin in here. So let's see if it's possible. I also have my marks set on the aperture assembly, so it could also be a help. So now it is there, and just need to figure out, will it work or not? So if I move no, I cannot see it yet, but I think it will be fine. So I can just add my little screw here. Yeah, it works. So there is no problem. So this plastic pin has come all the way over to the right, and then I can put in my screws here somewhere, and then add a little thread lock on the screws so it will stay there. So hold on. And now we have some thread lock, which will not in this case be on the thread, but more on the head. So we'll simply just add a little, just a tiny amount, it will be enough. And then of course I need to find the holes in here, probably Need to move this the inner assembly into place. Hope it's possible. So then add a screw. And since I already set a mark in the beginning, I know exactly where this aperture assembly should sit when it's correct. Just take away that. It looks like it's something contact glue or something like that. But I think this the thread lock will work fine also. And the last screw. So you see, I do not add it on the thread, but only on the head, screw head. So I think it will work pretty good. So let's see if it's possible to get it work. To see if it will work. Hopefully. Set it to 16 and then move it. Wow. There's actually life in here. So that's actually great. Wow. And the aperture is really snappy, as it should be. So next thing is simply add the back here, the mount itself. You see, I have the pin here. The aperture is set to 16. The other pin is locked up here into position. It will stay there. So the only thing I need to actually take care of is that pin goes over this fork here. So there. And there shouldn't be any problem. And now I simply also add a tiny amount of thread lock here and screw in the mount. And it's good because I use the softest of their thread lock family from Loctite. Is the purple. I mean, the bottle is red, they are all red, but I need to have the possibility to unscrew it again. Therefore I use the purple one. The red one is, yeah, forget it. There is a blue one called 243 or 243, which is a medium, which is also can be used to work with tiny screws and lenses or so. Now let's see if it will work. The ring is not locked, so set to there. Oh, out of camera. I was just zooming too much. So it's actually working now. So that's good. So the only thing I need to do is to put the front lens group in, then the retaining ring and the the nameplate, and here then we are done. It can be a little tricky to put in the front lens because the thread will catch the other thread, so we might, so just click and then you can just screw it in. We have to turn many times. And so then tighten it, and then add the retaining ring. You see there is a it looks like it's the same on each side, but it isn't. The back side here, which go into the lens here, it's more matte compared to the other side. I mean, no, it's actually more shiny. The front of the ring is more matte. So that goes in with the shiny surface towards the inside of the lens. So, and then we need another spinner. And it has to say click something there. So, and then tighten it. Last part is the nameplate. And for that I will use my rubber tool here. Oh, not this one. Where did it go? Here. And hopefully I can catch the thread. Yeah, it goes fine. It's correct. Then so now it is. It's actually done, and without any plate, I mean oil on the plates, as you can see, and it's snappy like an aperture should be. So everything is fine. So okay, that was it. If you can use the information, I hope you can, to actually make your lens working again. So that's all from me. Bye bye.